Welcome back, class. My name is Sonja. I'm a motion designer, and today we have animation collab where I animate in my what was the line? I forget my strap line. Where I experiment in my animation laboratory in collaboration with other content creators, I guess. Usually it's illustrators, but in this case it's Attack, Detect, Defend. Andy from his cybersecurity YouTube channel, we've come together to animate, or rather me help him animate, a cybersecurity video discussing MITRE ATT&CK framework, the MITRE ATT&CK framework, and how it works, and how attackers might try to get into your system, and how you could protect yourself potentially. And we've been animating the series for quite some time, since I think over a year and a half probably. That's because there was some time off on my side from streaming. I'm back after 6 months of taking a break, so I hope you're happy that I'm back and you can watch my work process again. And there was also, you know, I didn't stream every day for 8 hours, so it's kind of taking some time. And also, the animation, or rather the voiceover, the video, is 8 minutes long. So, you know, that takes a bit of a toll on a single animator. But yeah, let's get started. Oh, you forgot you were watching and I started suddenly talking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for startling you. I am speaking quite loud, so I hope that's not going to be an issue. I do tend to shout a little bit when I'm excited, so sorry. Alright, let's jump in. Let's have a look at the storyboard, which we have right here. Let me make that a little smaller. So we made it all the way to, even further than that, to this point. And this is the scene that we've set up last time. So here the hacker tries a defense evasion and tries to hide itself. Then tries to go in and delete the access logs so that the user cannot identify that something has happened. Then the privilege escalation happens, where the hacker tries to unlock certain stages, but then might fail, at which point they need further credential access. So like an ID card comes in, they gain access, and then they can unlock that stage. And then the next scene happens, which we haven't set up yet. So let's see how this is gonna go. Let me reset my After Effects. It always does like a messy jumping around when I open up a new project. And this is what we've animated so far. I'll just sort of scrub through it, as trying to render this is going to take a little bit of time. Then we've got the persistence. And now we have the new scene starting right here. Is it 10? Really? Are we already at 10? Wow. Okay, so let's import our scene. And yeah, we are indeed at number 10. I hope I named that correctly. We'll find out shortly. I've got an assets folder here and a scene folder where I put all of the scenes from the storyboard in there. And now I just need to navigate to our animation folder. And the scenes are in here. And for some reason, this is called 09 Defense. But persistence is already 09, so we looks like we skipped a number here. I'm now wondering if I should adjust that in my Illustrator naming, or if I shouldn't, Because the reason we don't have a scene file for execution, I think, or is it execution or is it a different one? Let's see. I think I'll just turn off the navigation pane for now. The reason we don't have a 6-7 is because the 7 is initial access. Let's see. I think I like separated two scenes here, and this is why this is 7 and execution is 8. But actually persistence is 8. Okay, what I could do, I could try and fix this file naming, but that will unlink my layers. So let's see. I've done that now, and now it'll tell me, oh, this is all wrong, it's all missing. I can then search for missing files, which are these. I can then find them in my scenes folder, and it should be persistence, import. It should then find all of those layers, so it's not a huge deal. And I will do the same for defense. And that way, whoops, sorry. Oh, I need to sneeze, I think. Excuse me. So, now it's telling me I'm missing other things from persistence, which is strange because I've already linked those. Thank you very much. Reference layers. Okay, from persistence. All right, go ahead and find those. So that should be fine then. And I don't think I've imported this. Yeah. And I can rename this. I can make sure that this has all the correct names. Obviously, I won't rename every single layer I imported, but I can at least rename this folder. I don't usually go back and change my scenes once I've imported them, but, you know, just to avoid confusion. Usually what I do before I start animating, I actually set up all of the scenes of the storyboard. But because that would be a really long and boring process in this particular animation, because it's so long, I chose to set up scenes and then animate them, then set them up again and then animate them. So you have a bit of something more interesting to look at and to follow along with. So yeah. So this is why the naming is going a little bit out of whack, so to speak. And we have, okay, and then we have a second initial access. Okay, weird. All right, never mind. Then we have number 10, which is defense. And we're going to import it as retain layer sizes, composition, retain layer sizes. And I'll move the layers to my layers folder, and I'll duplicate this. I don't want to animate in the comp that I've imported. I want to keep that as the original, and then I want to use this one here. I'll make this a little smaller, so we have a little bit more real estate here. And I want to change this to orange because that's the pre-comp color that I've chosen for myself. And then I also want to change the comp settings and start my comp at 59 minutes because that's how I usually work. And then I go in and I start setting things up. I'll go to 1 hour, which is now my new 0. I'll crop my layers there. I put a marker at the beginning. I trim the work area, and I'll start coloring in my layers. And these reference layers, I'm going to immediately turn them to guide layers, and I'm also going to turn them to none, which makes them gray and fade out a little bit. So they don't render, they are only there to give me guidance. And these 3 layers, I think those are the text layers. So I already have an essential graphic pre-animated composition that I can drop in for these. So this is the defense hacker. Let's make this blue. Then we have the PC. Let's make that something that stands out, like the fuchsia. Then we have the defense log cursor. Let's make everything that belongs together have the same color. So then all the privilege stuff, let's make that like cyan. And then we have the axis. Oh no, there's a misspelling. Oh well. Oh, those 2 as well. Oh well. The axis stuff, let's make that like purple. Oh, I made it orange. And then there is a little bit more axis stuff, but actually I only want this axis to be the same color, and this mask, I tend to make masks brown. So let's go with that. And now we need to start setting things up. First, I think we should bring in these text colors. And I'm not going to bring in the template from here because I have already changed the positioning and the size of it. So I'm going to copy it from one of the other compositions that has the text, like this one, because it also has like the animation in and the animation out already on the time remapping. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to bring it in. I think I'll just drop it right at the top. And we'll change the text. So this one needs to be called... we have defense, privilege, and grant access. So let's just call this grant access because we already have that. And I think I'll name this access as well. Then we have privilege. Privilege? Is it privilege or privilege? I never know. I think it's got an E, not an I. Yes, it's got an E. And then the same in the text. Whoop. Privilege. And then we have defense, right? I think it's defense. Defense. And I'm revealing this text by hitting E twice because this is technically a expression that I'm adding here. So by pressing E twice on my keyboard, I can reveal this expression. And this is defense. I think those are the 3 names that are grant, access, privilege, defense. Great. Now, let's see. First, we have defense evasion. It's actually not defense. It's the opposite. It's okay. I'll turn this off for now. And that means I can now also turn off the 3 layers here. Now you can see the animation coming in. I'll just show you what that looks like. Defense. Defense. And it goes away. And just so you can see the difference between the other one, you know, everything stays the same. The entire animation stays the same, but we see the different text, which is exactly what we want. Let's save that. Don't forget to save. Control S is your best friend. Don't forget to save anytime you make a change, essentially. Okay, next thing we want to rig this little character. And I made this character very detailed so that he can fully walk. So I've got the mask. That's the mask. This is the body. I will, first of all, let's add a effect on this, a set matte effect. And what I can do with that is I can choose the body layer and just mask this mask to that. So I think what I'll do is I'll have this guy walk on, and we need to kind of adhere to the voiceover. So one common theme across these various techniques is the desire to not be spotted. Okay, during that time, this little guy walks onto the scene and then puts the mask on. Therefore, an attacker may take advantage of defense evasion techniques to avoid setting off any alerts. So this is what we want to achieve. And actually, instead of the... Sorry, I keep jumping to the wrong view. Instead of this guy pulling the mask, like stretching the mask out like this, I think it might be easier if he just sort of slides it on from behind the hat. So I keep jumping to the wrong thing. I need to close this window. Hang on a second. That was my media encoder. So let's parent things. So we want this to the body, and I actually want the body to have its own control. So I'm gonna give this a null control, and the body is going to be controlled by that. Hacker. The arms are going to be parented to the body. Also, the legs are going to be parented to the body, and I want to change the anchor points to the point of where the body parts are going to be rotating from. And this is very huge. We don't need that so huge, and we also don't need this so huge. So these feet, they are going to rotate from, like, actually about here, probably, like the center of the foot. I don't know. No, maybe they will rotate from the back there. I don't think I'm gonna have to rotate them a lot. Let's see what that looks like when they rotate. Yeah, that looks... Yeah, I can rotate them until there. So that's fine. SetMat is a pretty cool tool. The only downside is that once you've added SetMat to layers, you then cannot put turn on continuously rasterize on the pre-comp. So if you have that comp in another parent comp, you cannot turn on continuously rasterize, because then it breaks the SetMat. That's a huge downside to SetMat, but I will not need to scale this past its past 100%, so I don't need to turn on SetMat on the comp, so that shouldn't interfere with my SetMat. Just taking a quick bite of my watermelon. And we've got the eye and the iris. I think I'm just going to keep the iris parented to the eye. I don't usually like to parent layer to layer, because then if I want to move something independently, I suddenly have to reparent things. But that's okay. For the eye, I don't think I want like a whole bunch of null controls flying around here. So the mask is going to be parented to the body. The feet... Oh no, this is called leg. No. Okay, well. So the foot left is parented to the leg left, and the leg right to the leg right, apparently. It's weird that it's not giving me an issue with the double name. Oh well. Usually if you have two layers named the same, the other one has a little 2 next to them. But yeah. Okay, so what I would instead like... I would like this arm... Where's the arm? Arm right to be the other way, first of all. I want this to be above the body. And above the mask. And this way. So it's gonna be more like this. And actually the mask will be parented to that arm. And the arm, it's going to move up. So it's like, and it needs to, the mask also needs to be above the eye. So let's just put it all the way like that. And then this is going to be like, ooh, oh no. Oh no, the arm doesn't quite work like that. Huh, okay. So maybe let's unparent the mask. Let's adjust the arm a little bit. So maybe this needs to be slightly more like here. Let's see. So yeah, this is a perfect example of where a null object would come in handy, because this way I can move the rotate and move the arm independently of the movement of the mask. So it's better if I pin everything or parent everything to a control layer, which is I'm using null controls as control layers. So if you hear me say control layer, that's what I mean. Arm, well, actually, it's like the mask. Okay, so let's use the position on this instead of the position on that. Let's go back. Let's move the arm in such a way where it can actually move this out of the way. But now I can still rotate this arm without interfering with the mask. Sorry, that was wrong. This one. Now I can rotate this arm a little bit and also maybe move it out of the way a little bit. So it's not quite, yeah. So it's more like this. So you can see the elbow. And it's more like, whoop. And maybe I want to rotate it a little bit more. Move it a little bit closer to the body. That way we've got more of this going on. And if this happens fast enough, you don't really notice that the arm flips over to the other side. You see? So maybe I need to rotate this out a little bit more. And obviously I need to also go up. So maybe this is just 10 frames. And this is 20 frames. So I will take these and I will use the clone feature of motion 3. And at this point we don't see a mask, so first it's going up. And also we need to cut this in half. So first we've got first we need to have this arm sort of rotate in, I guess. And this will be, let's say this is 75%. And it needs to rotate. But it's in a different position at this point. Ah, I can sort of have it hide at inside the body, so it's like going, it goes away and then it comes back out. So maybe it's actually here. Yeah, and then you just see it like right there. And then I'd need to have this again. So actually I need this here again. Reverse keyframes. And that's sort of the motion we want here. Let's see, so it's like, it's a little too slow. It's way too slow and obviously not eased the right way. But that's like sort of in the direction we want to go. And yeah, this is way too slow. This should be like 10 frames. And these should be this should be easy ease, and these should be 75%. 75% is sort of my standard ease rate. So we've got, oops, there's a jump there. Okay, we actually need this to be right here. Ah, okay. So first I need this arm to sort of go away. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need a few more frames of this rotating away again. So then it's like here. So it's like, and it's like a, yeah, kind of like that. Does that work? Let's see. Oh, there's a little swoosh swoosh going on. Let's give this another 5 frames. Oops. Maybe that's going to be too long, I don't know. But this looks about right. Maybe this should only be 10 frames as well. Well, it's the way I've always worked. I've never questioned it. So I don't know if I'm the authority of saying, sorry, I didn't repeat the question. Is splitting the layer the only way to unparent? I'm always having trouble to unparent animations. And my answer to that is, I don't know. I've always done it that way. I'm happy for somebody to teach me another way, but as far as I know, yes, it's the only way, because parenting is not a, as far as I know, is not a keyframeable property. So if it was keyframeable, if you could say, at this point do this, and now when you reach this keyframe do a different thing, then you could change the parent. But since it's not a keyframeable a property, I keep forgetting the word property, that's not a possibility. There might be a possibility using expressions, so you can keyframe the position property to another position property, and with expression you could say, okay, at this stage switch the parent to another layer. That's a probability, but I think that might even be more effort than just splitting keyframes. The layers. Yeah, also Reds is saying splitting the layers the only way they know. Yeah, unfortunately, same for me. It's the only way I know. Like I said, there might be a possibility with expressions, but that might be so complicated that it might not even be worth it. So let's have a look at this. The timing might need to be adjusted, but yeah, this is too long. Maybe we can just... I think it needs to be 5 frames. 5 frames, maybe let's add 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's make it 8 frames. And let's move this one closer. Let's see what that looks like. And this is somehow really... this could have like a bounce, maybe. I could... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could add a bounce to this just so it's not quite so rigid. Or let's not add a bounce, let's just do a manual bounce. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is a easy ease, and then we get, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames forward. We're here, and then maybe we have so we overshoot this one, which means it goes like there, and then we have 10 frames, and then it's at 0. And that can be a 75%. Let's see what that looks like. So it's not quite so stiff. Oh, yeah, that's really bumpy. Maybe it needs to be 10 and 5. Let's see. No, that's really bumpy. Maybe 5 is too far. Maybe let's go -3. And maybe both have to be 10. I tend to just kind of go back and forth on these things and just sort of see what works. And maybe both of these have to be easy ease, and only this one is going to be 75%. But generally it's like, it's more... Maybe I'll just move these 2 frames back. It's more like the first swing is faster than the... You know, the overshoot is faster than the settle in. I think it's the settle in when it like settles into its final position. Let's go. Yeah, that's okay. Maybe this will be 5 after all. I think that looked a little bit nicer. Let's do that again. And I'm purposely not changing the color of the arm so that it can hide in the body and do this sort of swing. So if you're wondering, well, like, what's the point? You can't see the arm. Yeah, it's kind of on purpose. I don't have a lot of shading in this animation on purpose. I don't quite like how this is swinging the other way before it swings forward, so maybe I'll just do an easy ease on these 2 as well. Still doing this like swing backwards. Ah, okay, so maybe this is a different... Oh, I see. Alright, so it's just swinging backwards too much, so maybe I just need to keep it here. Maybe this just needs to be a little further out. Maybe I want it to be like this. Okay, let's see. Nope. Nope. I have to have it like this. So maybe this just needs to be a little further out. No, it has to be like that. It has to start there so that it can sort of be pulled down like that. And maybe I can make the gap a little bit less. Don't want to put the arm out too much because then it's like looking a little weird. Yeah, I think I need to keep... Oh, God, it doesn't work. What if... Ah, this is just for the position. Okay, I do need to control the rotation with this. Yeah, that's better, I think. So we've got swoosh. Yeah. All right, so now we have a little, but it's waiting a little too long on this moment, I think. So maybe we don't have a 75%, but an easy ease, and we do go 5 frames here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this is taking too long, and we're not supposed to see too much of this. This is supposed to happen like quite fast, you know? We don't want to see too much of this like switcheroo business. This is supposed to happen quite quickly, so that we don't notice that it's slightly broken, you know? I don't like how this elbow is like disappearing and slightly reappearing. So maybe I need to have this elbow out just a tad. Or I work with, whoops, I work with these guys here. Just make it a little rounder. Ah, it's not the right one. It's this one. Nope. This just needs to be a hard keyframe. No, it cannot be a hard keyframe because then it doesn't complement the other keyframes. So I don't like how when it's rotating, we can still see it quite a bit. So I think while it's rotating, it also needs to come in, so we don't see it anymore. So more like that. Let's see. And also this is taking too long. I think we can do with just... This is already 10 frames. Let's bring this down. Maybe just 5 frames. Maybe that's enough. Because also this is part of it, isn't it? Yeah, we've got like this whole section where it's going upwards. Yeah, it's taking way too long. Let's just do 10 frames on this. And the masks needs to start here. And this needs to start at this point. So all of this like movement that we don't see needs to be much, much faster. Also, I'm pretty sure I have an eye template. What's this? XE blinking dot. What is blinking dot? I think that's... Ah, no, that's that. I do have, because we had this character in the beginning already for quite some time. Yeah, this guy. In the framework. We already have this guy. Somewhere. Where is that guy? The little animation dude. What? Wait a second. Something's not right here. Where is the... Was it here? Yeah, this guy. So this guy already has that eye blink situation. And I think I'm just going to make that a template. And then I can use it. I can use it. I'll make this into... Actually, because the blinking is dependent on what he's doing, maybe I won't. But I'll just get that blinking. Wait, where's the blinking? Oh, the eye is blinking, not the iris. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'll just take this. And I won't make it into a... what was I saying? I won't make it into a template. I just take the keyframes and just whack it on the eye. First, we need to... No, it's the scale. We need to separate this. And then I can add this eye blink to that. And see, this is why. This is exactly why I didn't have the iris on this attack framework. Which one was it? This is why I had the... I always link layers to controllers, not to other layers, because sometime down the line I'll figure out, oh, actually I want to animate this independently, and now they're linked to each other. You see? You see? This is exactly why. Ah! Alright, let's just... I'll grab these two. I'll grab both of them directly. And what I'll do is... I will replace it with this iris layer. I have to reveal source in project. I can hold Alt and I can just replace it with this layer. Now it's the same. Should be the same anyway. Is the scale different? Looks different, but anyway. What I can do, I can then go to the first keyframe here, highlight the entire position property, and then drag that whole thing onto my original iris. Yay! And then we choose the eye. And I'm also going to change the name. Oops. No. And I'm going to remove this one. And then I'm going to also parent this to the eye. And now we have like this whole eye movement happening. Obviously that doesn't quite work in this context. The motion is way too extreme, but I can, you know, I can adjust that. But now the iris can sort of just move around. Yeah, that obviously doesn't work, but I can sort of move this here instead, and the iris can go here instead. So it's like looking to where we're going, And then we want kind of to come back to our original position. I don't have my clone here anymore. I need to expand my plugin a little bit. Then we've got that. We don't have this. And we don't need these following ones. So we've got this going on. Maybe a little later. And yeah, I mean, these ones I can just do the keyframes later on. But yeah, so you can see that character animation is quite a involved sort of discipline. We've been on this for just about an hour, and all we've animated is this guy pulling down his mask and blinking, you know? So if you're ever wondering why animation takes so long, or why an animator might say, oh, that's gonna take me a day to animate that little movement, this might give you an idea. I'll resize that so you can have a full look at this beautiful little animation of our little character here. So yeah, this is how far we've gotten today. I think that's pretty cute. And next time we're going to continue with this scene. This character first needs to walk onto the scene. We haven't even done that yet. I really wanted to get this done to see if this is even going to work. And I think that worked really well, actually. And yeah, then we're going to continue by getting this character to walk onto the scene. Oh, my After Effects crashed just now. Help. Okay, let me save that. I hope we're not losing anything. I cannot see the screen anymore. I don't know what happened there. Cool. But yeah, basically we're gonna have this guy walk onto screen. We'll have him pull on the mask, which he's already done. Then the screen's gonna come in, and then the rest of the scene is going to happen. So this is all a whole bunch that we still need to animate. And after that, there's a whole other scene to do with discovery and lateral movement. This command and control, which is also going to have another character, so that's going to be quite involved as well. Collection and exfiltration of information, then a few easier scenes. We have this bug already animated, so I'll just drop him into this scene, so this scene will be relatively easy. And then that's it. That is the last scene of this animation, which we already have. So no problems regarding this. This is already fully animated, and that's the end of the video once we've got that done. How exciting is that? There's a huge delay in my OBS when I switch screens, so I hope there's not a huge delay for when you're watching on the live stream. Do let me know in the chat if you're experiencing any lags. But yeah, that's basically it for today. If you liked that, please give this video a like, tell your friends, and if you'd like to watch more motion design work process, feel free to subscribe, no pressure, of course. If you'd like to get more and be involved, join the community, join the classroom on Patreon. You can also donate a tea on ko-fi.com or buy me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com. Feel free to do any or none of those, and I will see you next time. Bye!